Dear students, this is module number 63 for the subject of strategic human resource management. And in this module, we will continue our discussion and we will enlighten our vision about and understanding about the universalistic approaches to strategic human resource management. And in this module, our focus would be on the best practice approach. As I said that within this perspective of the universalistic approaches, there are two different perspectives. If not different, however, they are talking about something which can differentiate them. So the best practice approach, or what it is, we talked about in the last module. However, it is suggests that there is a one best way or best known perspectives for this approach. One of the most dominant scholar or the researcher or the practitioner also that advocated this concept was Jeffrey Pfeffer. Why I'm naming that person is because if you want further studies on this subject or further readings about this subject, you can think about who actually is one of the main proponent of this perspective or this approach to strategic human resource management. So Pfeffer, in 1999 or early 1988, he has dominated and written couple of articles. And Pfeffer outlines 13 interrelated best practices that are derived from his reading and discussions with the HR professionals. So what we mean and what we understand by this. Pfeffer ने by his readings and after consulting with lot of HR professionals, he came up with the idea or he came up with the perspective that there are some practices which are good for organizations and they are universalist. They are best practices for human resource management or the strategic management of an organization. The practices are named here. Later on, Pfeffer reduced or minimized this list from 13 practices to 7 practices. If you want to understand what is the best practice approach, let's look at this. And I question you, isn't it that these are best practices and every organization should implement them? If not, then you come up with a justification. Why not? For example, the first practice is employment security. The idea Pfeffer had that the practitioners and the literature suggest that employees perform better or work better, offer more efforts when they have an employment security with an organization or by an organization. The second practice is selective recruitment. The organization should select a staff or employees by careful and by extensive efforts to see whether the employees is good for the organization, what are his or her values, skills and abilities and knowledge that can meet the strategic objectives of the organization. Pfeffer suggested that organizations must pay the above average salary to the employees in order to get the best outcome from the workers. Incentive pay should be paid based on the performance and productivity of the employees. Employee ownership. So organizations should motivate employees to have ownership of what they are doing. Information sharing. Organizations must share the information about the organization performance, about the business strategy and everything. कंपनी को बताना चाहिए अपने एम्प्लॉयज़ को कि हमारी इस वक्त मार्केट में क्या पोजीशन है, हमारी बिजनेस स्ट्रेटजी क्या है, हमारे कंपेटिटर्स की क्या पोजीशन है, हमारे कंपेटिटर्स से हम किस तरह compete करेंगे. Organizations must offer this information to their employees. So self-managed teams, training and skills, cross-utilization or cross-trainings. A symbolic egalitarianism, that means that to reduce the gap between the top management and the lower workers, and the promotion from within. So these are the 13 practices which he later reduced to 7 best HR practices. Pfeffer claimed that regardless of the context, regardless of the situation, these practices are best practices. And any organization, does not matter where it operates and what is the context of that organization, should adopt or implement these practices. For example, अगर वो कहता है कि जी information sharing is a good thing, what is the counter argument against this? क्या ये अच्छी बात नहीं है कि कोई ऑर्गेनाइजेशन अपने एम्प्लॉयज़ को ये बताए कि हमारी स्ट्रेटजी क्या है, हमारे कंपेटिटर्स की स्ट्रेटजी क्या है, हाउ वी विल compete with our competitor, what is the position of the performance, financial performance and sales performance and productivity performance of you and the organization? Is it not good that every organization should do it? Is it not that it is one of the best practice in human resource management? If not, then why? You should think about it, whether the best practice approach is one of the best practice or one of the best approach or not, acceptable or not acceptable. Thank you.